Have you ever caught yourself saying, I guess this is just what aging feels like? As you rub your aching back, struggle to climb stairs, or forget where you placed your keys, again, maybe you chalk it up to getting older. I'm just slowing down, you tell yourself. But what if that slow fade wasn't aging, but warning? What if your body's been waving red flags for years, and you've been brushing them off like they're nothing? Here's the truth, and it's a hard one. Most people don't die of sudden accidents. They die from things they could have spotted earlier, small signals, whisper quiet symptoms, easily dismissed, until it's too late. And the scariest part? These signs aren't dramatic. They don't scream, they whisper. They hide behind common phrases like, I'm just tired today, or, that's probably just the weather. But when ignored, they can quietly rob you of years. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 of those silent signals. Little known but powerful signs your body might be breaking down faster than you realize. And if you're over 60, this could be the difference between adding decades to your life or losing them far too soon. Let's start with something that almost everyone over 60 brushes off: unexplained fatigue. Now, I'm not talking about being tired after a long day in the garden or chasing the grandkids around. I mean the kind of exhaustion that doesn't make sense. You wake up after a full night's sleep and still feel drained. Or you climb a single flight of stairs and your legs feel like cement. You think, maybe I'm just out of shape, but deep down, you know this is different. This kind of fatigue could be a sign that your heart isn't pumping the way it used to. When your heart can't efficiently deliver oxygen throughout your body, everything starts to slow down. Your muscles tire faster. Your brain fogs up. You feel like you're running on an empty tank, because in a way you are. Many seniors brush this off because it's gradual. It doesn't hit you like a heart attack. But that's what makes it dangerous. It sneaks in, sets up shop, and slowly steals your vitality. The good news is that if you catch it early, it's often reversible. Gentle exercise, heart-healthy food, and simple tests from your doctor can make a world of difference. But here's where it gets more serious. If you're constantly tired and short of breath, even when doing small things like getting dressed or walking to the mailbox, that's not normal aging. That's a possible sign of heart failure or reduced lung function. And you don't wait on those. You act. Now, let's talk about something even sneakier. Weight loss without trying? Sounds like a dream, right? But for seniors, especially those over 60, sudden or unexplained weight loss can be a red flag waving in your face. You might notice your pants are looser, your face looks thinner in the mirror. Maybe you're even eating the same or more, but the scale keeps dropping. People might compliment you, saying you look great, but inside, something could be very wrong. Unintentional weight loss can point to serious issues like diabetes, cancer, thyroid problems, or chronic infections. Your body is burning energy, but not in a healthy way. It's a sign your internal systems may be overworked, inflamed, or fighting something hidden. And yet, so many older adults ignore this. They tell themselves, well, I guess my metabolism just changed. Or, maybe it's just stress. But here's the thing. Losing 5, 10, even 15 pounds without trying isn't a random fluke. It's your body pleading for attention. I've seen too many people wait until they're too weak to climb out of bed before they take that sign seriously. Don't be that person. Listen to the whisper before it becomes a scream. And if you're thinking, but I feel fine, remember this. By the time you feel sick, the problem has already been growing for a while. Health doesn't vanish overnight. It erodes slowly under the radar. Now that we've talked about that invisible fatigue and that so-called lucky weight loss, let's move into another red flag that too many folks ignore, especially the tough ones who've always prided themselves on handling pain in silence. Let's talk about pain, not the sharp, screaming kind that sends you to the ER. I'm talking about the dull, nagging aches, the ones you just live with. That strange pressure in your chest that creeps in when you walk too far. That burning in your lower back that flares up when you're lying down. Or the discomfort in your jaw or shoulder that comes and goes. Too many people, especially those over 60, ignore these signs because they're used to being tough. You've survived a lot. A little pain. You can handle it. But here's the catch. Your body isn't trying to inconvenience you. It's trying to warn you, especially when it comes to chest, jaw, or shoulder pain. It could be your heart trying to get your attention. These aren't always full-blown heart attacks. Sometimes it's angina, reduced blood flow to the heart. It doesn't always feel like pain either. It might feel like pressure, tightness, or even indigestion. One man I spoke to said it felt like a tight belt was being cinched around his chest. He ignored it for months, thought it was heartburn. He was lucky. When he finally went in, his doctor told him he was on the edge of a major cardiac event. Pain isn't weakness, it's communication. And after 60, your body speaks more softly, but its messages matter more than ever. Now, let's move to a sign that often goes unnoticed, not because it's painless, but because it happens in silence. Changes in bathroom habits. This might not be dinner table conversation, but ignoring changes in urination or bowel movements can cost you your life. If you notice you're going more often than usual, especially at night, or if you suddenly have trouble starting or stopping, these could be signs of prostate issues or diabetes. For women, it could mean a urinary tract infection that's become chronic, or even something more serious like kidney problems. And let's not overlook bowel movements. If things aren't moving as often as they used to, or you're suddenly seeing blood, black stools, or experiencing strange constipation or diarrhea that comes out of nowhere, don't brush it off. Your gut is often the first place disease shows up. Colon cancer, for example, often starts silently. And yes, it's treatable if caught early. But if you keep chalking it up to something I ate, you could be ignoring the very thing that needs your immediate attention. People over 60 are often told these things are just part of aging, but change is only natural if it's gradual, painless, and doesn't interfere with your daily life. Anything else? That's a flare in the fog. Pay attention to it. And while we're talking about silence, there's one sign that creeps in without warning, without pain, and without a single physical symptom, until one day it steals your balance, your memory, and your independence. I'm talking about mild cognitive changes. That's right, subtle memory slips that many people laugh off, like forgetting where you parked, struggling to find the right word mid-sentence, or walking into a room and forgetting why you came in. We all have moments like this, but when those moments become frequent, when you start losing track of time, repeating yourself often, or misplacing items in strange places, that's not just senior moments. That's your brain waving a red flag. Brain aging doesn't happen overnight, and it's not inevitable. But it is accelerated by things like poor sleep, lack of movement, social isolation, and unmanaged blood pressure. Ignoring it because it's not that bad yet is like ignoring a small fire in your kitchen because it hasn't spread to the living room. I know this can sound scary, but the goal isn't to frighten you, it's to empower you. Every single one of these signs, fatigue, unexplained weight loss, hidden pain, bathroom changes, and memory slips, can be managed or even reversed if you catch them early enough. You've worked too hard, lived too long, and loved too deeply to let your final decades be stolen by things you could have done something about. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. So if your body is whispering, or even tapping you on the shoulder, it's time to listen. Next, we'll look at a final signal that's often ignored but can predict more than just illness. It can predict how fast you'll age, how quickly you'll lose strength, and how soon you might lose your independence. Let's keep going. Now, let's talk about something you might not expect to be a warning sign: how fast you're walking. I know that might sound strange, but stay with me for a moment. Your walking speed isn't just about your legs. It's actually one of the strongest indicators of overall health in older adults. Doctors call it the sixth vital sign because it says so much about your strength, balance, heart, lungs, and even your brain. Have you noticed yourself walking slower than you used to, taking smaller steps? Maybe you're pausing more often, or struggling with stairs, or avoiding longer walks altogether. That gradual decline in speed might feel normal, but it's not just aging. It could be your muscles weakening, your circulation slowing down, or your nervous system losing its sharpness. In fact, studies show that slower walking speeds are linked to shorter life expectancy. Not because of the speed itself, but because of what it reveals underneath: poor circulation, early frailty, muscle loss, or even early signs of dementia. It's your body saying, "I'm struggling more than I used to." But the good news? Walking speed is also something you can improve. Movement creates momentum. And even small efforts, walking a little further each day, doing light strength exercises, stretching in the morning, can start to rebuild what's fading. Your body wants to stay strong. It just needs you to say, I'm still in this. So don't ignore that voice in your head that says, I used to walk faster than this. Don't let that slow fade sneak up on you and steal your freedom. You don't need to run marathons, but you do need to keep moving, because that's the real truth behind all 5 signs we've talked about. None of them are meant to scare you. They're meant to wake you up, not to fear, but to action. You see, too many people wait. They wait until the symptoms scream. They wait until they collapse. They wait until they can't climb the stairs or remember their own birthday. And by then, it's not early warning anymore. It's damage control. But you don't have to wait. That's the power you still hold. You can make a doctor's appointment. You can start walking a little more. You can drink more water, eat more greens, sleep a little earlier, laugh a little more often. These aren't huge heroic acts, but they are how people over 60 start living like they're 40 again. You are not powerless, you're not too late. And no, it's not just aging. Aging doesn't mean disappearing, it doesn't mean giving up. It means listening closer, responding sooner, and refusing to be someone who fades quietly into the background. You've still got chapters to write, people to love, and things to experience. So, here's what I want you to remember. Your body is not the enemy. Your symptoms are not punishments, they are messages. And if you start listening to those messages, you might just surprise yourself with how much life is still left to live. Now, if anything I said today reminded you of something you've been ignoring, take it seriously. Make the call, book the checkup, talk to someone. You are so worth the effort. And if this helped you in any way, if it made you think, smile, or take a breath, let us know in the comments below. Your story might be the one that gives someone else the push they need to take action too. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful, and hit that subscribe button if you want more real talk about staying healthy, strong, and independent after 60. We're here for you every step of the way. Here's to listening to your body, trusting your instincts, and living your best life at any age. Because 70 isn't the end. For some, it's just the beginning.